Thank you, John Carroll. We're following up on a conversation we had with Oregon's 2nd Congressional District Representative. Last week, Blake Mayfield spoke with Cliff Bentz about the ongoing issues out at China Hat Road, and Bentz voting to look into impeachment inquiries of President Biden.
This has become a place people want to be because they can be on National Forest Service land, use drugs, and not have to worry about it.
Oregon's 2nd Congressional District Representative Cliff Bentz is sounding off about the ongoing issues out at China Hat Road, just south of Bend. Bentz was elected in 2020 to serve as representative of the largest of Oregon's 6 districts, which includes South Deschutes County. Since taking office, Bentz says he's met multiple times with county commissioners and the Forest Service about concerns from homeowners in the area.
The folks that work for the Forest Service have a I'm going to say a list of excuses. We don't have enough people. We don't have the right laws. We don't have people doing the prosecuting.
According to the Deschutes National Forest, they have a 14-day stay limit for all forest users. Issuance of a violation notice for exceeding the 14-day stay limit is a misdemeanor offense, which results in a ticket similar to receiving a traffic violation. It doesn't give the Forest Service the legal authority to remove someone or their belongings without a judicial decision.
Then they have to rely upon the federal court to enforce that ticket. That generally means in Eugene. And it also generally means that you're not going to get a district attorney, a U.S. attorney, to be enthusiastic about prosecuting what amounts to a traffic violation.
It's unknown if any tickets issued by the Deschutes National Forest have been prosecuted at the federal court in Eugene. Bentz mentioned that he and other constituents are looking into whether the Biden administration is directing the Forest Service to not sweep encampments on China Hat Road. Earlier this year, former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy initiated an impeachment inquiry into President Biden without a vote after claiming to have uncovered a culture of corruption when Biden was vice president that demanded deeper review. Bentz is a part of the House Judiciary Committee that will investigate if the claims against Biden are true and if there's enough wrongdoing to impeach the president.
The courts, when they see that the Congress has now voted for a formal inquiry, are robbed of the argument that there wasn't a formal effort to get these documents. Now we have said, yes, there is a formal inquiry. Give us the documents.
Bentz believes the issues at China Hat are a direct result of Measure 110. He wants to pass legislation that gives the Forest Service more tools to be able to remove trespassers.
So, Blake, why does Bentz think all of this is a result of Measure 110?
So, Bentz says the measure allowed people to recreate in the forest and allowed them to use drugs without any consequences due to an action from the federal court in Eugene that prosecutes these ticket violations.
Gotcha. Thank you so much, Blake.